I wouldn't mind a closer look at your swords. Care to browse through my wares?
So, you thought it over? I'm on my way to the...
Let me tell you about the woman who fell from the sky.
Another one. One freak. You look
Bigger
at
than
one
the
human
next
in no
story
time.
1,000
Got a
times.
sword.
I've heard enough of flying women.
It was very unusual.
Morning. Women need only sit
What would be
astride.
unusual is if you return home sober for once. You won't trick me into buying you around. How can I help you?
Let me tell you about the
Ah, you've told that story a bit.
Monsters.
How can I help you?
Let me tell you about the woman who fell from the
Sorcerers
sky.
not hated him when he was
Ah,
young.
you've told that story 1,000 times. I've heard enough of flying women. How can I help you?
I'm looking for places steeped in magic. You remember any stories of sorcerers or magical places in the area?
Not counting the fire-spitting bits from 3 years ago. Well, a sorcerer once lived in the wood beyond Vergen. You could look there. Maybe something's left. You might also speak to Cecil. Nobody knows Vergen's history as well as our alderman.
Let me tell you about the woman who fell from the sky.
Ah, you've told that story 1,000 times. I've heard enough of flying women.
It was very unusual.
What would be unusual is if you return home sober for once. You won't trick me into buying you around. He's one who can change the fate of the kingdom.
There goes the peace, eh?
An army led by a woman. For God's
Let me
Look,
tell you.
another one.
Fell
You let
from
one
the
human
sea.
in and in no time you've got a swarm.
You've told that story 1,000 times. I've heard enough
I
of
heard
mine.
that women need only sit astride a man's prize for the bellies to offer.
Geralt, first throat of the Witcher's Guild. Finally, a drink with someone worth talking to.
Short on company?
What can Yarpen tell me? I prefer listening to horses fart.
The Kingslayer's trail has gone cold. Have you heard anything?
No one could sneak into Bergen. We watch day and night. Anyway, who would they come for here? Stennis? Why so keen on capturing the assassin of kings?
Because I'm innocent.
The wise among us know that, and I wouldn't listen to the fools.
I can only prove my innocence by dragging in the real culprit. No other way. I wanted to talk to you about the Free State of Vergen. We haven't had the occasion somehow.
True.
Do you buy into Saskia's ideals?
Are you asking me if I believe what she says, or if I believe she'll be successful?
Both.
Saska's no liar, that's a fact. But whether we'll manage, who can tell? One thing is sure, we'll never know if we never try. For now, a great battle awaits. A battle in which elf, dwarf, and human will stand side by side. And that is beautiful in itself.
It's also the biggest potential weakness.
Nothing unites folk like sheer death. I believe those who survive will honor the deaths of their comrades,
If they win.
even if they don't. News spreads fast. Others will follow in our footsteps.
Iorveth seems to have changed. Have you noticed?
Oh, has his arse grown fatter in Saska's keep?
An elf who was the greatest foe of humans will now fight for their freedom. Doesn't that surprise you?
Only harpies don't change their minds. I'm no expert on elves, but as I see it, he's got a stiffy for Saska.
Iorveth?
He stood all gentle as a lamb in council, stealing glances at her tits. When she spoke to him, he looked as happy as a fool whittling a wooden toy.
Any idea where I can play dice around here?
Try the blacksmith's helper.
Vergen seems like an ancient town. Do you know its history?
It's one of the mining colonies Mahakam established. There were lots of them just 500 years ago. Now they're mostly in ruins. It was the first town where dwarves and humans began working side by side. For the past 3 years, it's been a symbol of our common death.
You won't trick me any buying you around.
How are you, Sheldon?
Better than at Brenna, though we've quite a rumble ahead of us. But I promise you this, we'll kick Henselt's arse and send him scurrying back to Kedwin.
Who's this, my failing eye spy? Geralt of Rivia visiting old Yarpen Zegrin.
Getting anywhere with the new recruits?
Like whores in a brothel, they're ploughing away at full speed. Savski's army's full of men better at holding their pricks than a weapon. The Zoltan and I are helping them catch up. Most importantly, they don't lack spirit.
They won't defeat Henselt's regulars with zeal alone.
We'll show you what an army facing either victory or death is capable of. For we've no other choice, Geralt.
I've been trying to figure out what Philippa Eilhart's doing in all this mess.
Same thing as always. Conspiring until she gets her pubes in a knot.
I know you hate sorceresses, but try to put your animosity aside.
We hate them, that's a fact. But why do you think that is? It's not because of their secret knowledge or their nice tits. Their hearts are full of dung, Geralt. Mark my words.
You exaggerate.
Ah, maybe not all. Eilhart's the worst. Need I remind you how she peddled her arse to Dijkstra just to learn the plan for the Redanian intelligence service? Everyone in Vergen knows she's not into cult. I tell you this, it's her ilk that caused the ruckus on Thanad Island. Think she's any different here? I'm crap at talking, girl. You don't. So I'd appreciate, as soon as Saskia's better, slip a word in her ear to watch out for her.
You in Rivia when I got caught on that pitchfork?
Was I? Fuck, Wolf, I saw you die! I didn't see the little bastard who took you for a haystack. But I swear it looked like you weren't going to make it. So I'm well glad you managed to lick your wounds.
I don't know if it taught me anything.
Come on, it had to. Not many have survived their own death.
You haven't noticed that I'm pissing up wind again, fighting for a cause that isn't mine.
No, I haven't. A free upper Aedirn is in the interests of any decent fellow.
Did you fight at Brenna?
Oh, fuck. I knows you've got amnesia, but you could have remembered that. Ah, it was a beautiful day. On one side, 6 and 40,000 black ones. On the other, us, the Nordlings together. The Redanians led by De Ruyter on the left, the Temerian regiments in the middle, and us on the right. The Mahakam Volunteer Army. All dwarfs. Even the likes of Cohor must have shit his britches at the sight of us.
He hardly lacked courage as I heard it.
All right, brave bastard, that's true. Prefer to die than run like a rat. I don't believe I've ever seen a bigger melee, except maybe 3 years ago here at Bergen. Would have managed that day too, even without the magic. That burning shit that fell from the sky. Why, even the Dun banner knelt before us when we brought our battle axes down.
Some say not one of the Dun banners survived. Any truth to that?
Biggerhorn nabbed the survivors as they fled south. But most men of the banner lie in the catacombs, along with their standard. The Dun banner. What the hell kind of name is that for a unit anyway? It's as if they couldn't get their fucking flag clean.
Stop throwing him and wrap him up!
Sober for once. It would trick anybody around.
The mine's safe again. Any plans to do something with it?
Course. Soon as the battle's done, we'll resume digging. Shame to let those rich deposits go to waste. My uncle says they'll put Vergen right back on its feet. Zoltan's talking about a shared enterprise or some such. He's to manage operations with my uncle as general overseer. We just got to save the town first.
I'm looking for places near Vergen where magic would be strong. Somewhere a sorcerer might have stayed.
Let me think. Verfrin, a summoner of elementals, once lived in the wood beyond Vergen. They say his creatures excavated the entire southern wall. You could also search the nearby ruins and abandoned crypts. If boulders with arms and legs aren't magic, then I don't know what is.
I'll arm wrestle you anytime. Now, even.
Let me tell you, fell from the sky.
Your hand's like a vice.
It wasn't easy.
If you ever run into my old mates Yarpin or Sheldon, promise me you'll take them on. They'll be surprised.
Zoltan says your company are true arm wrestling masters.
Unbeatable, last I recall.
Is that so? Care to check if that's still true?
Sounds good. Ready to take me on?
Give me your best shot.
Let me tell you about the one who fell from the sky. It's very unusual.
You one strong son of a bitch!
Thanks.
You should take on Scalen. He beat me and Yarpen, and now beats his chest over it. The old company would be in your debt if you thrashed him.
Jealous bunch, aren't you?
Let me tell you about the one who fell from the sky.
Zoltan claims you can arm wrestle like no one else.
He's right. Did he tell you I beat him?
Omitted that bit somehow.
But
Want to wrestle me?
I'm ready for your challenge always. So?
Show me what you got.
Listen, Scalen Burden beat all our old company, and it gets bragging about it right and left. Someone needs to knock him down the peg. Make him worth your while.
I'll see what I can do.
Fell from the sky.
Hey, Scalen, wanna arm wrestle?
I really like to wrestle, but
No buts. You either wanna wrestle or not.
do you know there's no one to match me in Vergen?
It's not the contest of the century, I just want to test you.
Steady on! I've got conditions. First, you have to beat Yarpen and Sheldon.
Show me what you're made of.
All right. Want to take me on?
Show me what you're made of.
I believe I'd split a rock with my dick sooner than I'd beat you at arm wrestling.
I guess that makes me the new champion of Vergen.
No shame in losing to the White Wolf. Though there's one who could still be a match for you.
Who?
The mighty Numa. I wrestled him in Kovir. Couldn't move my arm for the next week. They say he don't play fair. But that's just losers talking. You ever wrestle him? Give him my regards.
I will.
Let me tell you about the one who fell from the sky.
You've told that story 1,000 times. I've heard enough of flying with it.
It was very unusual.
What would be unusual is if you return home sober for once. You won't trick me into buying you around. What's this? Clad in hues of green.
Cecil, do you know anyone who fought in the war 3 years ago?
I did.
Did you fight here at Vergen?
Course.
Philippa claims you know a bit about the battle.
That old cook insult, called king by some, thought that Adernians were bumpkins who'd ship bricks as soon as his troops crossed the river.
Why did he attack Edirn?
According to Henselt, Upper Edirn is the ancient legacy of the Kedwenny crown and must be returned to the mother country. brazen farter.
That brazen farter had a point. If you read some history, you'll know that 300 years ago this land belonged to Kedwen.
Load of crab. 700 years ago, the elves reigned here. And 1,000,000 years ago, these lands were the domain of the worms. If things worked that way, every king could invade a neighboring land and claim his right to do so because an ancestor took a dump there.
All right. Hensel wanted to conquer Upper Eddern. What then?
He rolled in, got hammered, and rolled out.
Cecil, that doesn't help me much.
It wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. If I try speaking of it, I'll see it all again. I don't want...
The ghosts of the fallen fight in the mist. They turn into horrible creatures called Draugrs. Eternians, Kedweni, men, elves, and dwarves too.
Bloody hell. No peace even after death.
I want to help them, but I need to know more about the battle.
Very well. Listen. A beautiful day that grew hot later. Very hot. When Van de Grift attacked in the afternoon, he sent the Dun banner at the fore. Many of our lads shit themselves at the mere sight of their standard, but we had a surprise of our own. Under the cover of night, we prepared fire pits. Our archers lit them up at the right moment. I still can't believe we managed to fool their scouts. If it wasn't for that ambush, we wouldn't be speaking today. They likely wouldn't be in Upper Eddern at all. We decimated the Dun banner, but that was only the beginning. Seltkirk was our commander. Everywhere he appeared, the Kedwenis gave ground. He wreaked havoc among them. Hearts rose at the mere sight of his armor. Then, Van de Grift himself entered the fray. Seltkirk met him in the middle of the field. In the end, Van de Grift killed Seltkirk. A terrible death that sent the Eternian ranks into disarray. I thought it was the end of us. Then the sky fell, as if the stars themselves had decided to avenge the death of a great knight. Fire covered the battlefield. Nobody sought the enemy. They were all looking for somewhere to flee. Yes, there were no more friends and enemies, only the living and the dead. They say it was the doing of a Kidweni sorceress who wanted revenge on Van de Grift. Could be true, as Henselt had her executed right after the battle.
Remember anything from before the battle?
As if it was yesterday. Henselt's troops crossed the Pontard the third day after the autumn equinox. Eddern had good spies, so we were ready for them, and Seltkirk lined up our troops along the hills. Our hearts rose at the sight of the banners of Vengerberg, Aldersberg and Gullet fluttering in the wind. Knights and armoured infantry side by side in our ranks. Even the peasants had their regiments. The dwarves were on the left flank. Over 5,000 strong we were. Nobody caring about race or background, like never before. Only King Demavend was missing, but he must have had more important business than defending his country.
You saw the Kedwenis cross the river?
From afar, I saw Van de Grift leading 4,000 heavily armed men. Many a heart sank when we saw the elite bearheads or the armoured banners from Ardcarrig. The Dun banner was in the middle, veterans of Brenna. As soon as he set foot on Eternian land, Van de Grift climbed a hill and surveyed the area, as if it was his fief. Son of a bitch was as sure of himself as ever. Upon spying him, I remember the dwarves all dropped their trousers and showed him their asses. Then Seltkirk stepped out in front of us. His white armour shone in the sun. We were afraid a Kedweni arbalist would shoot him, but they too stood as if frozen, and Seltkirk just looked at them and bowed ever so slightly.
Did you see the duel between Seltkirk and Van de Grift?
I stood half a furlong from them. Never seen a fight like it. Probably never will again. They'd already met once at a jousting tournament in Ardcarrig. Seltkirk won there. He beat on the visitor so hard he broke his sword. Seltkirk was a true knight, the last of his breed. Van de Grift was so pissed off after that tournament he hanged the smith who made his sword and ordered a special one from a sorcerer. I bet he cut down Seltkirk with that new sword.
Van de Grift is dead. What happened to his sword?
Saskia's got it. Good thing too. Only her hand can tame the hatred enchanted in that sword. After the battle, when the flames abated, the scavengers came. They stole everything. Imagine, not a single keepsake or Selkirk in the whole of Edirn. His brother babbles something about a gauntlet, but he's a lying dog.
You captured the Dunbanner standard?
Henselt's choice troops, and not a one survived. The visitors sent them to their deaths. Refused to give them reinforcements. He was a monster in human form. The men of the Dun were real swaggerers. Killed a lot of our lads, but for every Dunner, there were 7 Adarnians. They had no chance. Aye, we captured their standard. We buried what was left of them in the crypts beyond Vergen. Their standard lies with them. Worthy foes are to be respected, even in death.
I'm going to need that standard. Thanks, Cecil, that was helpful. I think I know what I need to lift the curse now.
Madame Eilhard claims you need 4 symbols. The standard symbolizes death. Van de Griff's sword stands for hatred. What about the other 2?
I have a feeling Philippa has a handle on the rest.
Here's hoping you're right.
Saskia needs help, Cecil. Philippa can produce an antidote, but she needs a magic artifact to do that.
Would you like a fern and a dancing worm to go with it? Listen, I don't know about magic, but there is a place, as long as I can remember, it's been of interest to sorcerers. They say it's a very strong intersection. Look for magic there.
Where exactly is there?
Seek out the ruins in the forest beyond Bergen. There's a place of power there. You can't miss it. Why so glum? Saskia's a tough girl. She'll bounce back. Keep your head up.
Thanks, Cecil.
No, Witcher. I thank you. Save that lass, and you'll save my town.